from one of the loudest venues in the NFL. There's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. Fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. Because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Shift together here from the D-line. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And to the right side here, it's Allen. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So the defense has put them in a tough spot. It's 2nd and long. Back to throw here. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. They tried to swing it out left into the flat, but the defense, they were very principled there.
It felt very West Coast offense, didn't it? You know their expression, right? On a West Coast offense, when they throw the ball, it's either going to be a touchdown or a check down, meaning they like to press it downfield. If they don't have it, swing it out, which is exactly what we saw there. But how about the great pursuit and tackle to make a nice play?
And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down. The Browns send out their punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. Taken in at the 11. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Chiefs are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. David Johnson on his way. 30. Past the 20. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. David Johnson, 83 yards. And the Chiefs are going to take a first-quarter lead. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line out-leveraging the defensive front to create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not pump the ball again.
Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be a second down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
They begin the drive with Johnson. Space to maneuver at the 40. David Johnson on his way. 20. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. David Johnson with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Chiefs strike quickly here for 6 points. Now McManus for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it? It
certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. They'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And I think we've got a hold here. It's a 5-yard pickup for the moment. Let's see what our referee says. So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Back to throw. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. Justin Houston in there for a milestone sack as it moves him past Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor, who finished his career with 132.5. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Forced out to his left. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Brandon Williams. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
And they'll start this drive with very good field position. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Looking deep for Adams. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. On second down, Johnson. And some room to work. He's still on his... And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. David Johnson doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter. And the Chiefs add on to their lead. Our first update now comes from Atlanta. And the Falcons have opened up the lead there to a couple of scores. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
It's a 6-yard loss on the play.
Watch it now, Barney. Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39. Gun. Watch it now. No. Check. Patriot.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Looking for Allen. He's got him on the slant. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Give him 7 on the play, and it'll bring up a second down. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to be brought down on... What'll be the final play of this first quarter. Fresh set of downs here. handoff as they run left side. And he's got some space here. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Handoff as they run the counter play. Room to run inside the 40. That good for 22 and a first down.
Dance class, anyone? Did you see the steps between the quarterback and the running back on that counter play?
That's what you need for a good counter.
You have to have it because you're setting up your blocking. There's a timing element as well, but they have to marry up their steps. Otherwise, that timing gets thrown out the window.
Timing was great there and a big run. And that's complete to the right side. It's Allen. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be knocked down sideways. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a first and goal.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up second and goal. Yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. That pass play good for 7, but it still brings up a 4th and goal. And his kick is indeed good, and the drive will wind up yielding 3. So the drive takes him inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And the Chiefs now getting set to go. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
So while the offense has had a big day, no one on that side of the ball is excited about seeing a loss like that. Their goal, to make every play positive. And when you have a bad one like that, your next goal is to not let it spiral into more.
And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and they're going to face a third down.
It seemed like the situation was second and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. In this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up a third down.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And he fires one that's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48. He won't go down. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8.
All right, here we go.
They'll look to throw here. That is caught at the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Watch that in. Watch that in. That is right. That is right.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. 1st and goal from the 5. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
No. Check. Patriot.
They'll set up to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Set. Detroit. Leopard. Detroit.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And now a fumble. The ball's out.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Fighting through it, he's got space. David Johnson on his way. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. David Johnson on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Chiefs are able to grow their lead. Around the NFL, second quarter in Atlanta. And the Falcons sort of opening things up there. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. Now McManus on to kick this one off. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I
was going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you.
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. So now here are the Chiefs as their offense makes their way back out onto the field. And they had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
No, check, Patriot! Hurry up, here we go. Watch it now, Barney!
They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 at enemy territory. Give him 15 yards on that one. Kansas City has a first down. So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
Let's go! Gun!
He'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. No chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Over! Here we go!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
That was very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Defense has set themselves up nicely. 3rd and 10 now.
Detroit! No, check, Patriot!
Out of the pistol, here's Johnson. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
One of the things I love about this game is there's a match of wits throughout the game. Who's going to get the advantage? Who's going to catch someone off guard? It's like the offense thought they might catch the defense off balance with that play call, but unfortunately, that didn't work for them.
So we've come upon halftime here in Arrowhead with the Chiefs on top as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. So both teams have their marching orders and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Around the NFL, 2nd quarter in Atlanta, and really pouring it on now are the Falcons. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
All right, here we go. No, check. Over.
Again, it's Johnson. And some space here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
That's the desired outcome coming out here in the second half of being able to run the football and establish a little bit of pace and maybe even a bit of dominance at the line of scrimmage. And they want that to continue. Way too early to think about this being ball control time. But the way they're running it, you got to think they may want to continue that and see if they can go ahead and grind their opponents into submission.
Now back to throw. Flush, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
A long way to go for the offense here on third down. They're going to look to throw. He's got Adams on the hookup. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard that time, second and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third. They'll look to throw on third and goal. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
That's quite a stand there defensively. A huge sack on third down, and that's going to force him into a field goal attempt.
Now McManus will line up for the field goal. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, and their lead will swell up to 28. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
It's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know it, the half.